Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for September 4th. Oh man, what a day. Well, taking a look at the futures right now, we are gapping up from the close, and it looks like we are reaching the closing price of August 30th. Okay, very interesting how this is gapping up. I don't know how it's going to react tomorrow morning. We are coming into some resistance area, so it might, depending on whether it can get above or stay under it, that will tell us the direction of where the SPY wants to go. Bringing in the SPY real quick here, though. Let me bring that in. I mean, we have a very clear, defined resistance. Okay, this is August 30th, so we're gapping up right about this area above this 291.50 resistance. Now becomes support, so we are in kind of like a zone here. Okay, so right about there, this is where we are at, around the 293 ins and outs. And do we get above or below? Personally, I like it to fail. I'm looking for it to fail. Coming across here, looking back a few more days out, I mean, you see a very key resistance here at the 293. So from 293, I think it's going to have a tough time. If it does get above, beware of the fake out, right? If it gets above it, then some traders might think that, oh, this correction or this trade war fear is over, and they might just buy in on the breakout and be a little too early on it, only to have it stuffed down at the 294 and just sell right off. This would be the trap that I'm talking about since yesterday. And I mean, we don't know if it's going to happen, but it's definitely a possibility. The only way the hedgies and the big boys and the smart money can sell this off profitably is when they fake you the fuck out with a push, and then they drop it on you fast and hot, right? We do have a doji day indecisive, so there is still some sort of market fear out there. Looking at the daily chart here at the 294, it's a clear defined resistance range, right? So as it reaches, it might just top out from there and fail. So look out for that. Be careful if you are long and if the SPY is getting close to that level. Okay, so let's get right into the watch list. First up, we have Roku. What a miss. Like literally super miss. Last night I talked about the 150 pre-market. It held 150. At the open, it dipped out and held the 150 again. This was the opening move action. This was the, if anybody was watching the tape, this was the action to watch for. Let's go to the 1 minute chart and take a look here real quick at the first few candles and see if it's possible to get in. Definitely. It never even reached, right? I mean, a starter size would have gotten you in, but the thing is, I mean, this is a tough entry. In my opinion, it's a tough trade to get in here because it's coming down so fast at the open. Like my video that I just put out, I mean, if you waited until after price discovery, after 10 o'clock, you had multiple chances. So here's that 10 o'clock area, right? And then we see a pullback coming in, and it's holding, and then it's making higher lows. And you have concise risks a little bit above 152. Even from here, right? This, a breakout of the VWAP and a hold on the VWAP. Let's zoom in a little bit. Breakout and a hold of the VWAP over 152, you had 20-cent risk, maybe 40 cents, and it was all uphill from there, right? I did talk about shorting at around the 153 area, so it did top out at 153 in the morning as well, and it gave you some nice play here on Roku, a point and change every single time it hit that 153. It failed once, twice, 3 times, 4 times before it blew you out, right? So you could have scalped that as well. With that said, I mean, what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Looking at this right now, Roku, all-time highs again on the daily chart. and it closed very, very strong and bullish. Even after hours, it continued to run up. So definitely a gap up for sure. Okay. Now, what it does after the gap up, we don't know. But with the stock being overextended, I think it wants 160 now. So every $10 up or every $5 up, if it gaps up to the 160, opens at around the 160 area, then short it for a quick profit take pull. I think tomorrow, if it gaps up a little bit too high, then and then the first pull comes, I think whoever bought it today are going to be like, okay, time to take some profits, and they will sell and yank this thing back down. First resistance area, if it does gap up high, then the first support area we're looking at is 156.5, right? So the highs of the day. This here, the 154.75, 154.80s area, very key. As you can see on the 30-minute chart here, this is a key support as well as the VWAP. So this is a nice target, okay? And then on the next level down, we have, I'd like to use this 153.8, but it's not a key level. The 153.8 is more of, it's basically, I got this level from, this is the breakout, right? The breakout point, right? The 153, however, this is a key support now because it's basically held and tested. So I believe this is the 153 area right here. I don't know if it can pull that far down, but I like it for a pull down tomorrow at the open for profit take. And then eventually it's going to find some sort of bottom and slowly grind back up. Looking for a first red day, a pop, gap up, open, and drop. That's what I'm looking for. If it holds this 155, 156 area, then I guess you can long it and test the 160 again. It's going to try, and it's going to try hard. Not a lot of people are not giving up on Roku just yet. A lot of believers in the stock and very bullish. Overall, the chart itself is looking bullish. So we'll see. There are a few ways you can skin the cat on this one, but definitely on watch. It's got great range. It's got higher than 1.0 relative volume as well. Next up, we have DELL. As you can see, we have Doji Day and then a previous Doji Day. So we had the earnings, a doji, and then another doji. As you can see, this range is shrinking right now. This is a major wedge right here. A bullish wedge in a sense, right? More of a bullish pennant. So there it is. Depending on where it breaks, it looks like it's about to break soon. Like as you can see today, the wedge just keeps tightening up. So really depends on what it does tomorrow. I still overall like the 50 and the 50 and the 49.5 area. If you're short, these would be your main targets, right? Looking at it right now, if it follows the market, then it's going to gap up. If it gaps up, then it's going to pull at the open to fill the gap. And once it fills the gap, then and if it holds, then it could run. So if it gaps up, holds 51 or 51.35 area, and long it, and then we get the next move up, right? So that's DELL. AEO is announcing earnings tomorrow morning. Personally, it's retail. I'm not a big fan of retail. Looking at the overall chart, we are in the bearish side of the year. We are trending down. So I'm not having big expectations, but we do see that today before the earnings, people are already selling it off. So perhaps they know something, or perhaps they're not too hopeful. The 16 area, very, very key. If it gaps down under it, look for a pop and drop, right? If the earnings reaction is bad, then it's going to come down hard, right? And 15 is going to be key watch, as well as that's a key psychological number. And if it drops even more than that, we should be testing these lows here at 14.5. Okay, so taking a look at that, and that's just the negative reaction, right? It could have a positive reaction, and then it's another game plan on its own. So I'll put that on the side watch. LYFT, all-time lows, finally breaking all-time lows. So this is very interesting for me. I was never a really big believer of the Lyft and Uber stock, right? As you know, a few weeks ago, I was just relentlessly shorting Uber, right? So now that Lyft has broken all-time lows with significant volume on the daily chart, there's that all-time lows at 47 with significant volume, and the way it's closing so weak, I do like it for more to the downside, even though it's so overextended, right? I am expecting a pop back up first, looking at this 46 area and 46.5 before I get in, and I do like it for a longer term trade, a swing short here on LYFT. This drop here, this is a kill candle with volume, right? So tomorrow it might just grind really slowly back up and fade back what it lost today. We'll have to see. But if it pops up fast, then I'm going to expect sellers to come back in and hammer it some more. So with that said, 46.5, 46, and 47 key areas to watch on LYFT. I really like that on the short, especially given the market situation. If the market's going to dump tomorrow, it's going to take LYFT with it. Workday. Workday had a fantastic earnings a fantastic earnings report on August 30th. However, they still sold off. So let's take a look at that. Looking at this overall, I mean, it's just probably because the earnings was priced in, right? So, however, we do see analysts coming in and still being on the positive side of this thing. What I want to see, though, I mean, with this kill candle today, it kind of ran back up and tried to reclaim. I think tomorrow, if it holds the low of today and the prior day of Friday or Monday, August 30th, it will run back up. And I do like it for a fade back up to gain back some of what it lost. We have key resistance here at the 178. So depending on what it does, right? If this low snaps though, then we are going down. We're trading a little bit under the 175 right now, key psychological hold number. So really depends on how it gaps tomorrow, either up or down. But there's a very significant volume still coming in right now, and today looks like it's fading back a little bit. This is kind of like a reversal signal, but we don't know yet. So definitely on watch. It's not about to break out tomorrow yet. It's just gonna chop around this range. So I like it. I like it for both a short and long. There's two plays there, so we'll keep that on watch. Okay, with that said, that's basically my watch list for this evening. I mean, there are other side watches, right? The fangs, especially Facebook, looking very weak, holding sitting right here at this 182 level, right? So if the SPY snaps and tank, this is gonna pull Facebook all the way back down and test these lows over here at the 177. If the SPY gaps up, we'll see how Facebook react around this 184. And from 184, it might get slammed right back down. So I do like Facebook on the side watch as well. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Thanks.